Hello everyone, this is Diya Santhosh. The topic to be discussed in this video is interact with HTML forms using Selenium. This is part of the course Web Scraping and Analytics. Let's start by discussing what are HTML forms. HTML is a markup language used to create websites, and forms are a type of HTML element. They are used to collect user data. The HTML form element is used to create an HTML form for user input. The syntax contains a start tag, an end tag, and the form elements in between. An example where HTML forms can be used. It can be used during user registration, where you would like to collect information such as name, email address, credit card details, etc. Now we will look a little bit about what is Selenium. Selenium is an open source tool that automates web browsers. Primarily, it is used for testing in the industry. Web scraping is one of the tasks that can be done using Selenium. Selenium has a single interface to write test scripts in programming languages such as Ruby, Java, NodeJS, PHP, Perl, Python, and C. Now we will look in detail about HTML form elements. The input element. It is used to get input data from the form in various types such as text, password, email, etc. by changing its type. An input element can be displayed in many ways depending on the type attribute. In the first figure, it is mentioned that the input type is text and the corresponding label is given as first name. So in the corresponding output, we will get an input box with the label first name, and the user can type text in that input box. Different methods that Selenium offers to work with text boxes. Send keys. It is used to enter text into a text box. Clear. To clear a pre-entered text. Get text. To fetch the text that is written in a text box. Consider an example of search bar in Flipkart. The code shows how we can use Selenium in order to input a keyword search in the input box. And the send keys method is used to enter the text smartwatch in the search bar. It gives the following output. The next input type is radio. It displays a radio button for selecting only one of the many choices. In the first figure, we can see that the input type is mentioned as radio. That is, from the output, we can choose only one of the options. Code for choosing one of the radio buttons is given. .click method is used here to select the required radio button. We can see that from the output, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, only one of them can be selected at a time. The next input type is checkbox. It displays a checkbox for selecting zero or more of the many choices. In the first figure, we can see that the input type is mentioned as checkbox and the corresponding labels I have a bike, I have a car, and I have a boat is given. Since the input type is checkbox, we can choose none or any number of options from these three. The code for choosing the checkboxes is given. Here also we have used the click method. In the output, we can see that two of the options are being selected because we have mentioned to select two. The main difference between a radio input and a checkbox input type is that in radio, only one option can be selected at a time, whereas in checkbox input type, none or any number of options can be selected. The next input type is submit. It displays a submit button for submitting the form. We can see in the first figure that initially the input type has been mentioned as text. Hence the corresponding we get two input boxes. And in the last line the input type is mentioned as submit. Hence a submit button is displayed in the output at the end. While clicking on the submit button, the form is submitted. The following code shows how a submit button can be accessed using XPath, and .click method is used to click on the submit button. In the example of input type text, we have seen how to input a text in the search bar. But to complete the process, we have to also click on the search icon which is shown at the end, which is a submit button. To click on that search icon, first we will have to access that icon using XPath or any other method, and then use the .click method to click on that search icon. That's all. Thank you.